Most people think starting a company in Burundi is slow, confusing, and full of paperwork traps. But here's the truth no one tells you. If you follow the right order, the process is actually structured, predictable, and much simpler than most beginners expect. The biggest mistake you need to avoid is jumping into registration without understanding the legal flow first. That is where most delays happen. Not because the system is impossible, but because people miss small but important steps. In this video, you are going to learn exactly how to start a company in Burundi from scratch in 2026. We will go step by step through the legal process, the required documents, the registration authorities, and the real-world tips that help you avoid rejection or delays. And stay with me, because in a minute I'll show you the exact sequence that makes the entire process feel simple, even if this is your first time starting a company in Africa. Let's begin with the foundation. If you want to start a company in Burundi, you first need to understand the business registration system. In Burundi, company formation is mainly handled through government business registration services, which centralize the process so entrepreneurs do not have to run between multiple offices. Now here's where it gets interesting. While many countries still rely heavily on physical paperwork, Burundi has been gradually improving its digital and centralized systems. But depending on your location and business type, some steps may still require in-person verification. So the key is not speed. The key is preparation. Before you even start registration, you need to make one important decision that most beginners overlook. You need to choose your business structure. This decision affects everything that comes after it, including taxes, liability, and how your company operates. Let's break it down simply. If you are a single entrepreneur, you might consider a sole proprietorship. This is the easiest to start, but it does not separate your personal and business liability. Then there is the private limited company, which is the most recommended structure for serious entrepreneurs. This means your company is a separate legal entity, and your personal assets are protected. There are also partnerships, where 2 or more people share ownership and responsibility, and branch offices for foreign companies expanding into Burundi. Now, imagine Alex, an entrepreneur from Kenya who wants to open a trading company in Bujumbura. If Alex chooses a sole proprietorship just for speed, he might face risks later if the business grows. But if he chooses a private limited company from the start, he builds a safer foundation for scaling. But here's the problem most people don't realize. They choose a structure based on speed, not long-term strategy. And that is where future complications begin. Now, let's move to the first official step in the process. Step 1 is name reservation. Before you can register a company in Burundi, you need to choose a unique business name and get it approved by the relevant registration authority. This step ensures that your business name is not already taken or too similar to existing companies. Now here's a common mistake. People often pick names that are too generic or too similar to existing local businesses. This leads to rejection and forces them to start over. For example, if John chooses a name like Global Trading Company Burundi, there is a high chance it may already be too common. But if he chooses something more unique like Bujumbura Agro Trade Solutions, it becomes easier to approve and also more brandable. Now let's move to the next stage. Once your name is approved, you proceed to company registration. This is where you officially create your legal entity. You will be required to submit key information such as company name, business structure, shareholders, directors, and your business activity description. Now here's where most people get stuck. The business activity description. Many beginners either make it too vague or too restrictive. If it is too vague, authorities may ask for clarification. If it is too narrow, you may limit your future expansion. So, the smart approach is to describe your business clearly, but flexibly. For example, instead of saying, selling goods, a better description would be import and distribution of consumer goods and related commercial services. This gives you room to grow without needing to constantly update your registration. Now let's talk about documentation. To register a company in Burundi, you will generally need identification documents for all founders, proof of address, and completed registration forms. If you are a foreign investor, You may also need additional documentation, such as residence permits or investment approvals, depending on your sector. Now here's something important. Many people assume that documentation is the hardest part. But in reality, the biggest delays come from incomplete or inconsistent information, not the number of documents. For example, if Sarah submits her application but her ID details do not exactly match her registration form, the application may be delayed or rejected. So attention to detail is critical. Now once your application is submitted, it goes through review and approval. If everything is correct, you will receive your certificate of incorporation. This is the official proof that your company legally exists in Burundi. But here's the truth many beginners don't know. Getting your certificate is not the end of the process. It is just the beginning. Now you need to complete tax registration. Every company in Burundi must register with the National Tax Authority to obtain a tax identification number. This is required for invoicing, banking, and legal business operations. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Many new entrepreneurs delay tax registration because they think they are too small or not yet active. But that creates problems later when they try to open bank accounts or sign contracts. Let's take an example. If Michael starts a consulting business in Burundi but does not register for taxes early, he may struggle to invoice clients legally. But if he completes tax registration immediately after incorporation, he can operate smoothly from day one. Now let's move to another important step. Social Security registration. If you plan to hire employees in Burundi, you may need to register with the National Social Security System. This ensures compliance with labor laws and protects employees under national regulations. Now, here's the key insight. Even if you start with no employees, understanding this system early helps you scale properly later. Because once your business grows, you will already know what compliance is required. Now let's talk about banking. Opening a corporate bank account is one of the most important steps after registration. Without a business bank account, your company cannot operate professionally or separate personal and business finances. Banks will typically require your registration certificate, tax identification number, and identification documents of directors. Now here's a practical tip most people miss. Different banks have different requirements and processing times. Some are more startup friendly, while others are more strict with documentation. So it is smart to compare options before choosing. Now let's talk about foreign investors. Burundi allows foreign participation in business, but certain sectors may have additional requirements or approvals depending on regulations. If you are like Alex, an investor from India planning to start a logistics company, you must confirm sector-specific rules before finalizing your structure. Now here's the important insight. The smoother your legal foundation is, the easier it becomes to scale, attract partners, and access financing. Now let's talk about ongoing compliance. Starting a company is not just about registration. You also need to maintain compliance. This includes filing taxes regularly, updating company records if there are changes, and renewing licenses if required. Now here's where many businesses fail silently. They register correctly, but forget ongoing compliance. That leads to penalties or operational restrictions later. So the smart approach is to treat compliance as part of your business system, not an afterthought. Now let's simplify the entire process into a clear flow. First you choose your business structure. Then you reserve your company name. Then you submit your company registration application. Once approved, you receive your certificate of incorporation. Then you register for taxes. After that you register for Social Security if needed. Then you open a business bank account. Finally, you apply for any sector-specific licenses. Now here's the big picture. If you follow this exact order, starting a company in Burundi becomes predictable and manageable. But if you skip steps or do them in the wrong order, that is where delays and frustration happen. Let's look at a simple real-world example. Imagine John, a small import trader from Uganda, wants to expand into Burundi. He follows the correct process. He reserves a unique business name, registers a private limited company, completes tax registration early, opens a business bank account, and begins importing goods legally. Within a short time, his business is fully operational and compliant. That is the difference structure makes. So here are the key takeaways. Starting a company in Burundi is not about complexity. It is about sequence and accuracy. Choose the right structure, register correctly, complete tax registration early, and stay compliant as you grow. Most problems do not come from the system itself. They come from missing steps or rushing the process. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to like this video, leave a comment with your questions, and subscribe for more country-by-country business setup guides. Because once you understand these systems, you can confidently build businesses anywhere in the world.